Landing.
Know when they're playing on TV that they're not going to be at their house. So is this part of something bigger? Not only are we talking necessarily about an interstate effort right now, this may be an international effort.
Yeah, the NBC News version of this says it could be connected to a transnational crime ring. The way they word it is like one from South America, which is a careful way to put that. And then Fox 4 had sources that further confirmed that said police believe the thieves are members of a South American crime ring.
Which is just, I mean, it makes sense. And they talked to their security expert, a gentleman by the name of Mike Barbieri, who I don't have any experience with, but he talked about some of the things that they might be looking at here. And it went right back to, because, you know, as we were talking about it that morning, we talked about, okay, well, if you just had a security system put in, well, your eyes would go right to the guy who just put the security system in. Barbieri said effectively the same thing. If either of them or both of them or all three of the local ones had recently had work done on their homes, well, that's where you look first.
Yeah, and I don't know enough about, especially about the other two cases. I don't know, or the other two sports stars. I hadn't heard much about those. So that's where they're looking. The next question I asked then is, number one, I don't know. Maybe I need some insight on what a South American crime ring is supposed to mean, and what that looks like. But it makes me wonder then, who's next?
Yes, well, and go back to late summer, and we had talked a little bit about a story where there were crime rings in other countries like this, and I believe they pointed at Venezuela and Colombia as being a couple of the ones that were involved in this, and that would go right along with the South American ideal in this whole thing. What they were doing is they were hiring people here to go around to neighborhoods and you know, document things like, does a particular house in a particular neighborhood have a security system? Does it have lights outside? Does it have this? Does it have that? And targeting people. And in fact, not only were they hiring people here, they were using Google Street View to do it as well. So yeah.
So we've talked about that. Sorry, I hit my mic stand.
I know the frustration on this, right? Is it's like, oh, here we go again.
We've had this conversation about whether you allow your house to be shown on Google Street View. If I'm not mistaken, right, you can request that it be blurred out.
Yes, and they will do it. It takes a little time, but you can do it. And in fact, if you go around some of the neighborhoods here in town, about every maybe 10th house or 12th house, you'll see one that's blurred out.
Okay. Wouldn't Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce be smart enough to have their homes blurred out?
Yeah, you'd hope so, right? I don't even know in places like the walled off and closed off subdivisions, gated communities, and things like that. I don't know Google is allowed in there to document. If it were me, I would hope that the guys at the guard gate would say, no, we got thanks, but no.
That's a really good point. I didn't think about that. That I mean, we could. I don't want to look up Patrick Mahomes' house, but the front of homes. And I'd be curious about Travis Kelce's house too. Again, not the house, just the neighborhood. It would be the same thing for the neighborhood probably. Because wouldn't you say no?
Yeah, and they have. I'm doing it right now, trying to get. Now, obviously, they can't do anything about the satellite view, but if I try to do Google Street View on anything in Lock Lloyd, nope.
Good. Okay.